I'm Ryan Benson.
I'm Josh Saunders.
I'm Dylan Button.
We are the Pop Culturists, and I think you guys think I'm a little bit too happy for this topic.
Maybe.
After playing Outlast 2 for 3 hours, I was scared.
Yeah, I was real scared.
It hit a lot of the right scary notes for me. So
really tall women with axes. Didn't realize that was a fear of mine.
Junk.
Yeah, didn't realize that was a fear.
Yeah.
Turns
So
out totally
I want to have a discussion about what your greatest fears are, no matter how dark they may be. Ryan, let's start with you.
My fears are pretty simple. I obviously have my crippling fear of heights.
Is it actually crippling?
Like actually crippling.
Okay.
And why? The fear expands. Like it's also the fear of the ocean because the ocean is just more falling.
So you
it's
hate
slower.
up and down. You just like forward.
Yeah, I'm like, heights suck. Oceans suck. Space scares the shit out of me because it's essentially forever falling. But slowly.
Until you like swim into the atmosphere.
Yeah. So now there has been like two distinct moments of where this has actually straight up caused like a panic attack in me. The first one was when we were at
PAX 2015.
Oh, that's okay. Make it 3 examples then.
Oh.
All right. So first one is when we were in Vanuatu. We were at this lovely little island.
Were you in Vanuatu?
Did you win that off of Wheel of Fortune?
No, Millie's parents like, you want to go to Vanuatu? And I'm like, okay. And so we did. So we all went to Vanuatu, and
Rich boy over
there
here.
was that's the only holiday I've been on. That's like the last 5 years. Outside of going to conventions. So they're like, hey, you want to go snorkeling? I'm like, at this point I was aware of my fear of the ocean. I'm like, look, I fucking hate the ocean. I'm not a very confident swimmer. So I'll be part of it with you guys, but be aware.
Is it because something can come at you from literally all directions?
No, not really.
What is it?
It's the height.
But even you can see the bottom. Is it knowing how far you are from the surface? So is it drowning?
Drowning's probably part of it. So we come up, we get in the little boat and we sort of get off in this nice little cove. The downside is, I get out of the boat and we've got little snorkels on. And and it's one of those things. I look down and it's just fucking nothing. Obviously because it's this nice island area, the water is crystal clear.
You can see that great white.
I can see everything, and it felt like,
you know how sharks swim straight up,
Yeah.
comes out of the darkness.
It was like what felt like 20 meters down. And I'm just going, and I'm like, all right, I'm like, cool, okay, cool. Like, I'm just gonna hold it. Like, I can do this. Like, I was trying to do the face the fear moment, right? So
Couldn't do it.
I'm having this fucking panic attack sort of thing, and then I get to the this little cove that they've got, and there's this lovely little underwater lake, right? But you've got to swim underneath and duck dive out. And I just look at that cave, and it's pitch black, and my body just goes. And everything starts shaking. I start fucking bawling my eyes out. I'm somehow wet yet still sweaty.
Bawling your eyes out underwater.
Yeah, so I'm like, I can't. This is like the first moment of a panic attack, and then I can't. And then I swim back to somehow get back to the boat. I'm just sitting in the boat. I'm just fucking head between my legs, freaking out, shaking. Like this is a full blown fuck. Like I've never experienced anything like that in my life.
It's awesome.
It's one of the most embarrassing things I've ever dealt with because it was just like.
Because everyone's like, "Hey, we're having fun."
No, it's because I lost complete control of my body.
I thought you were about to say bladder. That would have been so much.
No,
better.
as in I was trying to face the fear and I lost all control.
But you tried, so.
Yeah, and the other example is with the fear of space, because I said, forever falling. 2 examples, both. So the first one was 2015 PAX when we did the Earthlight demo, where it's the whole idea is you on the International Space Station, sort of going to repair a cable, and virtual reality being as amazing as it is, I'm fucking shaking, sweating, heavy breathing, and I'm just sitting.
You feel like your feet are firmly.
I'm sitting on a chair with my feet firmly on the ground, and our buddy Dave's right there looking at me going. I only know he's actually told me. He's like, I'm sitting there going, and you're like. And the other one is weirdly enough, watching The Martian.
What, the ending part?
Yeah, where he decides to Iron Man from his little capsule. And I'm like, does the idea that he could miss and just keep fucking floating into space forever? I felt sick. I almost vomited in my lounge room, weak at the knee. Even though I'm sitting down, my knees went all weak.
But it wouldn't be fair. It'd be for a week until he starved and dehydrated to death. So it's not forever.
But that's your forever.
You could undo your helmet and just end it.
You could.
And and that's the exact reason I haven't watched Gravity yet, because I've seen the trailer for Gravity. I'm like, nah, it's gonna
In
nah.
3D
I want to watch
IMAX.
it. I want to watch it with you. I want to have like a
Let's do a watch along.
Yeah, watch along of Gravity.
No, that's mostly that's my biggest fear that kind of wrecks me, and then I also have the other fears that everyone has.
Do you guys have the tropes of like spiders and snakes and all that kind of stuff?
Oh, I discovered I had a fear of mice the other day.
Mice.
Yeah, which I've never really had. Like, I've never really thought about it. So, it just fucking plummeted rain for like 3 days here, right? Our estate is in what used to be a field, so it makes sense that there's mice and shit around.
You guys have paid for the murder of many
field mice,
land creatures.
Yeah, without a doubt. So, I got up for work. I just got out of the shower. I was getting dressed, and I hear this. I'm like. And I see this little thing. I see this little black thing dart out of our room. I'm like, oh. And then I didn't know where it went, and I pretty much got what I needed and just left. Went straight to work. I left for work.
Left the wife and child to deal with the
Well,
mouse.
I had to go to work anyway. So I left like 20 minutes earlier than I should have. And Millie's like messaging me. She's
So
like,
you didn't have to go to work at that time?
no, I was like, no, I'm out. And she's like, what's up? I'm like, there's a mouse. Oh, no, I was like, there's fucking mouse. And so she knew about it. And I left. And she's like, did you get your lunch or have breakfast or anything? I'm like, no, I fear.
Oh, because there's a mice eating it now.
Yeah, so I just left.
So is there one or many? Oh no!
Yes, that was a week. And I spent the entire day just fucking paranoid and thinking about this mouse.
Cool.
It's the
You're not as
worst.
manly as I thought you were.
Oh, hardly manly. And then, of course, there's all the other, standard ones like, fear of not fitting in and all that. Kind of
Okay.
garbage. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Like fear of rejection. All that
Pass
sort
to
of
you.
Well,
Are you man enough to admit that you're scared of something?
no, I don't know if I am. Not like there's things that people are scared of in Australia: snakes, spiders, insects, cockroaches, mice, those kind of traditional things, sharks. And it's not necessarily that I'm scared of them. If there's an option of touching a mouse and not touching a mouse,
You're
I
gonna
just
go with
rather
not touching the
Like,
mouse.
I'm not going to actively jump and be terrified and jump on a table, but I'm like, I'm not catching it. I'm not stopping it. It can do what it wants. I'm just not going to deal with it. Snakes as well. Like, if a snake was there, I'd be like, okay, there's a snake there. Snakes are dangerous. I'm just going to avoid it, but I'm not scared of it. But I don't know. Mine isn't like a physical fear.
It's not a phobia.
All my life, I guess a fear in my mind was always having children when I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
Or getting someone pregnant and having kids. That's my
Because you're that sexually
core.
active.
Yeah, exactly. Like, sometimes if our fingers touch, who knows what happens.
That's how babies
But
act.
just that core.
We know where your fingers have been. Know where her fingers probably have been.
Exactly.
Mm.
You don't know how
Where
you
they're
can catch
gonna-
what.
where they're gonna
Exactly.
go and-
But that's the big one. Just like
So your fear was you being pregnant. You know that's not. You know that's actually not
having
possible.
a child
Hey,
with someone that
Arnold Schwarzenegger says differently.
because it's like a life sentence. Like, is it worthwhile being with this person with the possibility that you could get them pregnant and then you have a baby with them and
So
you've got this connection
you
with
have
the
a
rest of
fear
their
of
life?
commitment.
Not commitment.
Commitment to the wrong person.
But then, am I responsible enough to have a child, and like, are my insecurities and uselessness going to pass down to this
So
child?
I'm glad your current girlfriend has kids that like they're all past the could
Well,
potentially
that's what
die
I'm
stage.
saying. Like, that's why it's such a thing to
No,
me to tackle.
That's the thing too. Is like you said, you're worried that all like your flaws get passed down.
Well, yeah.
Well, the solution to that is just have kids that aren't your kids.
Yeah, I can avoid that. But then there's like behavioral things that come into it as well. Genetics is one thing. And then there's also the behavioral stuff. And everything that I do or say has an impact on what they see and what
So
they
you're
understand
scared
and
of
what they
like
hear.
fucking up the next generation.
Yes, I'm terrified of that. Or not being around, or not being around enough, or not saying the right thing, or doing the right thing. Like, that's always been a fear. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just not doing it. Not happening, so I don't have to deal with it. But that's a fear, but I've decided not happening. So now in the situation that I'm in now,
Yeah.
I've held off for the longest time because
You did hang off
it's
for
a life
while.
sentence. And
Yeah,
I'm
but
trying to
you
push it
don't
away.
need to look at it in such a negative light of it being a life sentence.
Well, no,
you
like
know?
I said, I like kids. I get along with kids. I think I'd be a good parent.
You've held my
but-
child once,
Yeah,
and I forced you to.
Well, babies are a different
Yeah,
thing.
babies can break really easily.
Yeah, and I'm
They
not
even have a
very great
self-destruct
on head
button. It's really
support and stuff
horrible.
like
Yeah,
that.
it's like-
But
Like just behind the left leg, just in the knee. Hey, baby.
You're like,
Just a stain.
just dust.
but I think that's that's my fear. And then I have like my OCD fears, which is not rational fears.
Washing your hands.
Well,
like washing hands.
Explain that, because that's a whole different
things.
level of fear.
Like toilets, anything like that. Like people don't wash their hands. Like I know Josh went to the toilet before, and I'm very conscious of where his hands are going.
Really?
I have been to the
Yes.
toilet after you. And
Yeah,
if there is
I
no
know.
poop left on your hands after what I see in there, that is a fucking Christmas miracle.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm very rational about. Irrational.
So you'll get it
Irrational
everywhere
about
else
these
in the
things.
toilet,
Yeah, it's not
except
it's not
I know that's what makes it ironic. Exactly. I'm like, just like roll my sleeves up. And
It's like,
just
oh my God, this
just like
place is covered
shuffle
in
my pants down and just put my hands on the door and just aim, and then I'm just out again. Done. So there's the irrational side of things that are not a fear necessarily, but it's like the chemical imbalance of the anxiety pushing those into my brain, and my logic is like, fuck off, this isn't a thing, and my OCD is like, fuck off, it is, whatever it is, like, fuck off.
What if you get
Those
like
kind of fears.
Josh's wee particles on you and
Yeah,
then
and then
touch Jacinta
what-
and she gets
and then I'm
pregnant?
like,
forever,
what?
forever unclean.
Yeah, and what does it matter though? Like, I'm like, what does it matter? And OCD's like, well,
It does.
maybe you put it in your mouth like 4 hours later. I'm like,
Like I do put things in my mouth. Oh God.
yeah,
I do
so,
like putting
yeah,
things in my mouth.
that's me. What about you, Josh?
The biggest fear, obviously, as a parent, is losing your kids. I don't want to talk. That's next level dark. I don't want to talk
That's
about.
dark. Yeah.
But I get quite regularly sleep paralysis.
Oh really?
Yeah, no.
I've always wanted to know about sleep paralysis.
I've had it since as long as I can remember, about 10 or 12. Do you know what it is?
No, explain.
It's where it's a state of mind when you go to bed, where the brain shuts off, but you're still awake and aware.
Okay, so
So-
the way that sleep works, there's 5 stages of sleep. There's stage 1, which is your sort of your body's quote unquote asleep, but you're still awake and you can wake up pretty quickly. Stage 2 is a little bit deeper, but you can still wake up pretty quickly. 3 and 4 is your deep sleep, right? Then you have REM, which is rapid eye movement. That's where you are dead asleep, but your body still registers as awake. And part of REM is your body will create essentially like a paralysis state.
Yeah.
So your brain is fucking. This is where you mostly dream. So your eyes are going crazy. Your brain's just shooting electrons, but you can't move.
So you can. It's a state of mind where you're in bed, you can't move. You actually can't move your body. You can, except your eyes. Like you can.
So you wake up in REM sleep essentially.
And And the thing with it is
Okay,
because you're in such a deep sleep, you're still in kind of a dream state. And this isn't just me. I've done a lot of fucking reading.
But
on
this has happened to you?
I get it every once a month, maybe. Wow. It's really scary, especially when you get to the point where you know what's happening. But the thing is that a lot of people have reported as well is that because they're in the dream state, things happen. Like you will swear to God that something is coming at you, like, and you can't move. Or like the worst one I ever had was I felt pressure on my toes, and then the pressure was rising up my body, like something was like crawling over the bed at me. And the only way you can do it is just to have, it's a real big mental push just to go and like shock yourself awake. And I'm always worried that it's going to get to the point where like that's happening and I don't wake up. Like what's that final step? Like what
Heart attack or something?
what happens when I don't wake up in that sit? Like I can't get it going. So you wake up, you start either by a massive jolt, which takes an incredible amount of energy, or you can wiggle your toes.
Well, it's convenient. Just go back to sleep. You're in bed.
No, because you hallucinate because you're in the dream state.
Yeah, because your brain is super active. So
Yeah.
it'll like it's your imagination at its maximum.
but even though
That
you-
sounds incredible.
But even though you know you're hallucinating and it's not real, the fear takes over and you can't do anything about it. You can't go, I know this isn't real. I know whatever I think is happening isn't happening. It's cool. Like it's not.
You're in the moment.
You can't move and you panic. You go into a panic, but you can't move, which makes you panic more.
Wow.
And you can either, like I said, you can either wake up by just really snapping yourself awake, and it's really difficult, or you wiggle your toes, and then you can move your feet, and then you can move your knees, and then you can move your legs, and then you can wiggle your butt, and then you can move your arms.
And that's
and
it. Then you just
try
wiggle
to
your butt
work
and then
your-
like shit's good.
yeah, just start twerking in bed, except your top of your body's just not moving. No, but it's
prove it is.
there was, I don't know if it still is, but there was a documentary on Netflix about it. Really interesting.
Okay.
But I get it once a month.
And is it always severe, or like is it always like a bad thing, or are you just like, oh, here we are?
No, it's
again?
always bad.
like,
It's
always
100%
bad.
always bad. And
Yeah,
a lot of
'cause
people,
your body doesn't know how to comprehend it.
yeah, and a lot
Your
of
Yeah,
body
but I'm
thinks-
like I'm in a bubble bath with supermodels, but I'm awake. Okay, let's wait till it's over and then I'll come up.
because you know you're in bed you know that you're not dreaming. So whatever's happening, like that's what's happening. Like if I was in that state and my kid walked into my room because he couldn't sleep, I couldn't move. I couldn't do anything. Like you're awake, you're active.
Wow, that'd be horrifying.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is because you're when you wake up during REM sleep, it's because it's a chemical thing, right? Your brain's going, hang on, I'm awake, but I can't do anything.
Which
even though granted the brain put you in that that place in the first place,
which causes you to start panicking.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was this weird thing that I had for all my teenage years until I finally just found a term for it. Someone mentioned sleep paralysis. I'm like, I'll Google that, and I'm like, this is exactly it.
And how long have you been having it?
Nearly 20 years now.
Wow.
And there's not a thing that triggers it. It just happens to some people. But yeah, like the biggest thing for me was that feeling of when you wake up and you realize that you're in that state, it's instant, like this just dread and this foreboding, feel like something's going to wrong, something's going to happen, something bad's going to happen.
Can't move, you don't have control.
You can't move, you don't have control.
Know what you're going to
and
dream up.
Because you're in REM sleep, you swear you can see a figure at the end of the bed coming at you, or you think there's something sitting in the corner, but you can't turn your head to look at the corner to confirm there's nothing there, and it's really fucked up. But yeah, it made me feel better when I found out what it is, and that other people do go through it, and other people do. Some people just wake up and they go, oh fuck, and go back to sleep. But a lot of people, it comes with that panic and that supernatural kind of feeling like something's really, really wrong.
Wow.
So the documentary on Netflix, I forget what it's called, goes really into detail. It's really interesting to watch.
Wow.
But yeah, to sum all that up, my fear is that I get to the point where I don't wake up. Or I can't wake myself up. And that'll be bad. Just because I don't, will I die? Will I just go back to sleep and wake up 3 hours later? Will I have a heart attack from the panic because it keeps building?
Because it's real panic. Your body's feeling it. It's real to you.
So it's what happens when I just can't wake myself up from this one day?
See, that's the other thing. Speaking of not waking up one day, my other fear, I have a crippling fear of death.
Really?
Yeah, I don't understand that. Because you're
going
to die eventually.
Crazy fear of death.
Is it just not knowing what comes after, or that whole I don't exist anymore?
It comes down to a couple of different things for me. Well, one, there was a time when I had less going on in my life, so I didn't care as much. Death,
or is it you have a lot to lose?
Well, I guess that's the thing now. I hate knowing that at some point, everything I've ever done up until then is literally a waste. What's the whole point of doing any of this?
What's the meaning of life?
Yeah, and then it's that fear of when I die, I guess it's just fear of missing out. I'll never get to...
When you die, the DC finally makes a good Batman movie.
No, not even that. It's the fear of
Episode 9.
I die, then my son's without a father, regardless of what age he is. Then Millie will be without a husband, and my family, all these other little things. And it's, I guess, because I've only had a small couple cases of death in my not personally, of course.
How many times have you died?
I've died 3 times.
Of close family that have passed away, and it's only been a very small number, probably 2 or 3, right? And they have rattled me so hard that I just can't. I will have, once again, back to anxiety attacks, right? I'll have little anxiety attacks if I'm lying in bed and I was thinking about death for some reason, and then I can't shake it.
See, I've had
can't shake it
more, I think, than a fair share of big family deaths. So maybe I'm maybe a little bit desensitized to it or whatever. But no, death isn't something I ever worry about.
I think about it all the time. I would love to actually go and talk to someone about it and find out where this stems from, because it ruins me.
I don't know. I'm
the heights one I can manage, just don't get high. And then don't go near oceans, don't go into space. There's very unlikely that I'm going to
get high.
I'm going to get really fucking high. But it's very unlikely for me that I'm going to go to space. So I'm all good. But death is unavoidable.
Maybe it's just being a selfish jerk, but I'm just if I die, what's going to matter? But yeah, I could have a heart attack, I could get hit by a bus, an airplane could fall on me. Why should I have to worry about that? If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. If I walk a certain path or I work out, there are things with health, of course, that I'd think, if you're worried about that, you'd be fitness junkie and vitamins, there's people that want to live forever kind of things. But that's not me. Yeah, but then
the other approach of that is we're going to die one day, why might as well just have fun? Screw wasting it, going to the gym and
but then you gotta
not eating what I want to eat. And
it's like smoking. I smoke a decent amount, I guess. And, people are like, you're going to die, it's going to kill you. And then other people are like, do you enjoy it? Yeah. So have at it. you know. And I know you know it's bad, and you don't need saying to a smoker that smoking's bad is the dumbest fucking thing you can say.
Like, oh, we're aware. That's why we do it.
Oh, is it really? Like this mangled fucking corpse on the front of my packet didn't tell me that
What,
it was
what do you
bad.
mean all these years of research and,
Yeah.
and advertising?
Like we know, yeah, but it does also come down to, do you enjoy doing it? Yes, I do. So I'll continue doing it until I decide not to. If this is what takes me, then well, that fucking sucks. But that's what does it.
Yeah. I think for me, like, before I had James, it was even worse because, like, it was like I don't see myself as like a legacy person. Like, I don't think I'm going to be at a point where I need me to live on, right? Like, I don't need to, you know. But with James, I guess, like, okay, cool. Part of me will continue. Like, something that I do before I die will have some sort of importance moving
PopC.
forward. And that's when James takes off the pop culturist. And
Yeah, and my son,
Yeah.
and little Ryan, the
Yeah.
next gen of PopC,
Yeah.
move in.
That being said, if they can transplant my brain, they can transplant my
spleen,
brain
just your spleen.
into something else or clone me, I'm all for it.
I was just-
Vampire immortality, whatever, I'm up for
I was
it.
just thinking, you know, I'm Ryan Bowden, I'm Alex Saunders, I'm James Betson, and this is the Pop Culturist. That'd be really cool.
Awesome.
We should
next
get him, if
generation.
we're still doing this in 5 or 6 years, we should just get him to mock an intro. I think it'd be fucking awesome.
That's easily a given. I'm Ryan Besson.
I'm Josh Saunders.
I'm Dylan Bowden.
What are your greatest fears?
now.
Comment below. Let us know. But like, no, like, I am not joking.
I want to
like,
know-
fear, like, death fucks me up.
I'd just love, because I don't know anyone else, like, personally, that has sleep paralysis. I'd love to talk to someone else that has it and, like, go back and forth about our experiences.
Yeah, comment below, and of course, as always, facebook.com/group/thepopculturist.
Give me your
As
rational
always, starting
fears
from now.
and your
As
irrational
of starting
fears.
last week.
Both.
But like,
Rational and irrational.
Yeah.
see, that's the thing, because like, they're fears, right? Like, I know it's irrational to have said fears that I have. Like,
No, not all
because that's
of
where
them.
fears come from. Fears are a rational response to something.
Sometimes it's genuine.
But then there's
fears.
different fears. Like, that's really hot. I shouldn't I have a fear
Like,
of touching
this person's
that.
coming to kill me with a gun.
It's a good fear.
I'm scared.
With intent. I'm scared.
Like, why should-
justifiably.
I guess fear of heights is sort of the same thing. It's just death, but in different version.
But that, yeah.
I'd like to know, like,
What if, you know how you have a wasted science degree?
yeah.
I would just love 20 years in the future, maybe, the government's like, Ryan, you have a very specific set of skills that we need you to take to Mars.
I'm like, do you want me to play PlayStation?
Yeah. Exactly. We need to start injecting pop culture into another
They
planet.
only
and you're the
taught
man to
this
do it.
very specifically for this year, between this year and this university.
Your voice
I don't
has
teach it anymore.
Your voice has the right decibels, just the right decibels to deliver our message.
So do you need me to live stream a game? Because I can do that.
The first live stream from Mars.
Oh, shit.
Could they get you up there though?
No, not a chance.
That's a shame.
Like, can you knock me unconscious and take me there? Like, it's
You can't be
I know we're
unconscious
still,
for 3 months.
I know we're still in the wrap up, but like, one more thing. I would love to know where all these like little panic attack and anxiety things come from, right? I never had it, and then like, a couple of years ago, out of nowhere, it pops up all the fucking time. Like, you know what? A couple of days ago, I was thinking of E3, and if we ever went. Then I had a small panic attack thinking I have to be in a fucking aeroplane for 17 hours.
That's a long time.
I don't have a fear of flying. Until now, apparently.
We're going to Brisbane in like 4 months.
That's like... Ah! Broken human being, apparently. God, what a horrible way to find out.
I'm still Dylan Bud.
Yeah, I'm still Josh.
I don't know anymore.
He's about to have a panic attack, so let's just